Texas A&M is known for engineering and agriculture and lots of things besides liberal arts. But we got to be friends, and we were drawn together, immediately. We hit it off right away because we both loved words. And Robert was an English major, I was a journalism major, and we both loved words and sentences and paragraphs and pages. And Robert's a couple of years older than I am, but he was class of 78, I was class of 79, and we graduated on the same day, sitting right next to each other, the same day in 1980. And it was that spring of 1980 that Robert and I realized that no matter what we would do to delay our progress, the university was going to graduate us. And they were just tired of us being around. And I went to Robert's house and one afternoon, and he played me a new song. We often would, kind of try our new songs out on each other. And he played the song, and I liked it so much. It talked about places that we went to all the time, places that we knew, and places that we loved, places we knew we were going to miss when school was done with us. Robert and I both dreamed of, playing music, writing songs. But Robert's folks were in the oil business in Houston. My folks worked for the Humble Company, Exxon, and where I came from, making stuff up and going around peddling is not considered a real job. So Robert and I, even though we knew we wanted to play music, we just didn't know if it was a realistic thing to want to do. And so we knew our lives would change after we got out of school. We just weren't quite sure how. But Robert played this song, and I told him, okay, I'm not leaving until you teach it to me. So he taught it to me immediately, and I went back to my little apartment around the corner and played it. And I started thinking about all the people that I'd met through Robert. I started thinking about, people I wouldn't have known if it hadn't been for Robert. And one of those people was his landlord, a man named Jack Boyette, who was kind of notorious college, slumlord. He owned several houses, old farmhouses that were part of the Boyette family farm, which was right there in that neighborhood. It had been, subdivided over the years and generations, but Mr. Boyette still owned some of the old houses, and when they got run down enough, he was able to rent them to students. And he was pretty diligent about checking on his houses, but he had a reputation of showing up to his tenants' houses unannounced, and sometimes just letting himself in, just to check on the places, see how they're doing. And he didn't enjoy the best reputation among his tenants, except for with Robert Keene. I knew him by reputation, Mr. Boyette, but I never met him until one day I was standing in Robert's living room, and up drove this old pickup truck. I heard the motor turn off before he even got to the front of Robert's house, and he just kind of coasted in to a stop, and he got started getting out of the truck. The door opened before he even came to a complete stop, and Mr. Boyd, who was in his 70s, and I thought he was old, and he just sort of floated up the walkway, up the front steps, and right into the front door, just walked right in Robert's house, and there I was standing, and I thought, oh goodness, I wonder what's going to happen next. And about that time, I heard from another room where Robert was, Robert's voice said, "Hey, Mr. Boyette, come on in," like that. And I was just struck by their relationship, how, most tenants would have called the police, but Robert and Mr. Boyette were very close, and Robert would go down to Mr. Boyette's farm down in Milliken, Texas, about 20 miles away, and help him doctor cows and patch fence and just do whatever Mr. Boyett needed to have done. And Mr. Boyett would come to town, Robert would go keep him company, have lunch or dinner. And I just admired their relationship. So as I played Robert's song in my little apartment, I thought to myself, well, Robert wrote about these wonderful places that we all knew and loved, but he left himself out of the song. He left Mr. Boyett out of the song. And so without Robert's knowledge or permission, I started making up my own verses to Robert's song. And when I got through, I went over to his house and I said, just hear me out. You don't have to keep them, but I want to play this for you. And from then on, Robert Keane included the verses that I made up in his song. And that's how we came to write the song together.
Yeah!
Standing under a mesquite tree, out in all the those days, he just keeps on playing hide and seek with that hard oldest son. Just a sweating and a panting, 'cause his work is never done. And this old porch is like a steaming greasy plate of enchiladas with lots of cheese and onions and a guacamole salad that you can get them down at the Versailles Hotel and old downtown with iced tea and a waitress, and she will smile every time. And this old porch is the palace ballroom on the main street of Texas. It's never seen the day with cheese and ours it exists, but that 62 poster that's almost faded down, and a screen without a picture since John came to town. and not